What is up, my fellow ladies and gentlemen? In this video, I wanted to delve into some promotional images that have been released pertaining to Cobra Kai Season 3. As you can already tell, I'm extremely hyped for Season 3. I really think it's going to step the show up even more, and I really feel like you're going to sort of see the characters do a lot this season that really cements them into the Karate Kid legacy. But let's go through these shots. Let's go through them. Also, if you haven't, make sure you check out my other Cobra Kai videos on the channel. I have one that is at a few thousand views now. I think that's the one pertaining to Robbie. And I'll get into Robbie when we get to that particular image. But the first image I have is Tori and Eli. Now, when I break down these images, I'm not going to break down every single minute detail. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer you my perspective on the characters that are present, the scene that it's being held in, and what it might mean for Season 3. So, simply the little image here of Eli and Tori in the dojo, it's basically just business as usual. It's back to work, in the dojo, training, and just, yeah, following Kreese's Cobra Kai. So they're going to be ever... I feel like these two are perfect for what Kreese is trying to do with Cobra Kai, and I feel like these two are naturally what he likes in his Cobra Kai students. They're willing to do whatever it takes to not only be the best, but to come out on top by any means, fair means or foul. And I really think that is an angle that they're going to explore this season. With Miguel being in hospital and Robbie being inside, you're going to see people like Tori, Sam, Hawk and Dimitri and Chris, and maybe even Bert. You're going to see them take center stage in everything that's going to happen next. So I'm extremely excited to see where these two characters go. And then it sort of feeds into another promo shot of just, you know, the army pretty much assembled. Not a lot I can talk about there, other than the fact that it looks like this season is going to be brutal in the terms of fighting, because if you look at what's taken place on the walls now, you can now see a variety of weapons on the wall. Now, whether they use them in combat, I don't know, but with it being Kreese at the helm now, he might teach them more unorthodox approaches to make sure they never lose again. And instead of just using fists and your objects around you, maybe having objects on you that can make the difference also. So I feel like that is a testament to how the fights are going to be in Season 3. I feel like they're going to up the ante. And in Cobra Kai time, these students are they're in the young adult age. So I feel like the violence is going to increase, and I feel like little pun there, increase. I feel like the violence is going to get even more dangerous than it has been. And I feel like we're really going to see Kreese's Cobra Kai start to take shape. Because as much as we've seen Kreese's Cobra Kai in the original trilogy, I feel like we spent more time with Daniel and Miyagi and that side. Whereas this show shows us both in a very balanced perspective. And I feel like we're going to see more of what the dojo has to offer under Kreese's control. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. And yeah, it ties into what Amanda Larusso said to Daniel about no more karate. Does that mean Miyagi-Do is temporarily disbanded? Does that mean Cobra Kai is pretty much just running the show? I don't know. Not long to go now. And we get to my favorite image of the bunch. I love this image, right? And it's such a simple image. But the way Robbie is positioned in this single frame, right? The way he's positioned, he looks vulnerable. He looks like he's in a space where he's uncertain, he's feeling a little insecure, and I mean, let's be real, he's in juvie. He's in a detention center. So I'm excited to, and I've said it 1,000 times over, Miguel is everyone's favorite character. But I feel like in Season 3, Miguel is going to have he's going to have the most exciting arc, but I feel like Robbie's going to have the best. I feel like Robbie will go through the most growth this season, and it's such a shame that Robbie has ended up in this position because he did so much to turn it all around. If he had kept hanging out with those two losers that he always fights with, he would have gone the same route as them. And I feel like they will play a factor in how it is for him inside. Now, I don't know whether they'll fight him inside because they might be in an older facility or something like that. But I feel like those two will definitely take advantage of the fact that Robbie is now inside and just make his life a living hell. They might pay people to try and fight him. And obviously, you get through these places by having a clean record, so you don't want to fight. But I feel like Robbie's going to have no choice and be backed into a corner. I feel like throughout the season, you're going to see Robbie take a lot of beatings, and then he's just going to eventually have enough, and then he's going to fight back. Now, I don't know if any of you are Arrow fans, but in season 7 of that show, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but the main character, Oliver, is put in prison. And it's based on a comic where Batman was put in the Supermax with all of his villains. So I feel like this is a similar scenario where Robbie is the one that we will root for this time. Because Robbie isn't facing Miguel this time. He's not on Daniel's side. He's on his own. Daniel said he pretty much wanted nothing to do with him. Everyone's going to be against him. The only person, realistically, who could be there for him is Johnny. Now, I know people have touted Kreese to be there and manipulate him. I really don't want that. I really feel it's time that Johnny and Robbie seriously get it together. They really need to, now more than ever, because the person that Johnny saw as his son and Johnny's actual son are in the two worst spaces imaginable. His actual son's inside, and his, pretty much close to son is in, a serious coma with a very serious injury. So I feel that it's time to really sort of bring them together. I don't think Robbie and Miguel are going to be best buddies. I've never say that, especially after him booting him over a staircase. But I feel like there's potential there to bury that, because we've seen that already. We've seen that. And I feel like it's time for something new with that. And I really feel like this is the evolution of these characters. And I've said it 1,000 times before. Season 2 follows the second act formula of theatre and trilogies and all that. The second act in your 3-act play is always usually the darkest for your protagonists. It's where they face the most growth. It's where they go through the most. And Robbie and Miguel have gone through the most. I mean, Robbie's in a space now where he's probably going to be feeling guilty as hell that he's almost killed Miguel, a guy who showed him mercy. And Miguel is going to feel like shit as well, because he's now in a coma for listening to the guy he saw as his father. It's a whole Jerry Springer show of events right there. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of growth in Season 3 for both of them. And Season 3 is usually the redemption piece. So this is why I feel like Robbie is in line for the best arc, because there's something about Robbie. There's something about the potential of where his character can go. And if you think about it, no one likes him. No one. Everyone, we all hate him because he booted Miguel over the staircase. But everyone in the show probably hates him. All the characters, they probably detest him for what he did. Even the Miyagi-Do students, because it's not the way they were taught. So, rambling a little bit, I am excited to see where they go with it. And I just like the framing. I like the feeling of isolation. How the only people near Robbie in this equation is some guy all the way in the background who's probably going to make his life a living hell, and the security guard. And other than that, Robbie's more alone than he's ever been. And it's sort of an evolution of where he was. He always felt isolated and alone, but this time he is very much alone. He's inside, no one cares about him, no one wants to do anything with him. So I am hoping that Daniel and Johnny can find peace, and Robbie could be the anchor for that. Same as Miguel. I've got this image here of Kreese, Daniel, and Johnny sat next to each other. Now, I don't know if this is actually taken from the show. I feel like this is just a sort of promotional image. It's not actually going to be a scene. But it is cool to see how far these three have come over all these years. And, I've met William Zabka at a convention. Lovely dude. Lovely dude. I've yet to meet the other two, but really top guys, and, love their work on the show. Can't wait to see where it goes next. Renewed for a 4th season, after all. Now, my other favourite image is Miguel fighting for his life and Johnny rushing in there. I feel like you're really going to start to see how much Miguel meant to Johnny this season. I mean, we kind of already knew how much Miguel meant to him. And it's that one scene that I always go back to, where him and Johnny are sat in the burger place, and Johnny's telling him the story of Robbie and how he failed him and how he let him down. I feel like and even the scene where Johnny's talking to Carmen, he said, that kid is the only one who hasn't given up on me. You're going to see even more of that, and I feel like their bond's going to be even stronger. This is why I said in that collab live stream I did with the other guys, I said, first and foremost, his word is going to be sensei. It's going to be something like that. It's not going to be anything cheesy or anything corny, but it's going to be you're going to see a montage playing in his head of him talking to Johnny about what to do, and then him getting booted over a staircase, and then him waking up. And that's how I feel like Robbie will be reintroduced to Robbie in season 3 too. Is you're going to have, I wouldn't be surprised if this is how the season starts. You're going to have the scene replayed of when Robbie kicks Miguel over the staircase, and then Robbie just waking up and snapping out of it, and then, you know, he's inside and it shows what he's living like. And you'll have a similar thing for Miguel here. And where I really hope Daniel and Johnny find peace is they need to, now more than ever, they need to put this rivalry to bed. It is good seeing them bickering, and it will probably be fun to see them fight again, but I feel like we've kind of had that now. I feel like it is time. You know, they've been teasing it since season 1, when they were in the car and they were singing, and, you know, like, oh, what kind of man doesn't? And then they were reminiscing about, you know, parents and parental figures in karate dojos and all that. And Daniel and Johnny are the yin and the yang, and I feel like it is time to bring them together. And I feel Robbie and Miguel are the anchors for what will bring Daniel and Johnny together. Finally. Finally. Maybe we can get some... Oh, God. Could you imagine, like, a fight scene with Daniel and Johnny going up against people? Oh, that'd be nice. The next shot we have is I have honestly forgotten what this kid's name is, but I know the other one, Dimitri. So Dimitri and fellow student, they're clearly back at the school. It's probably like a sports kind of day event, maybe PE if you're UK. So basically, if you're in the US, that's just, you know, physical education, you know, running, training, all that kind of stuff. So there's not a lot to go on, but it looks like they're enthralled with something. They're taken aback. They're like in conversation maybe, or they're thinking about something. I have a couple of videos on Dimitri and why I feel like he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I feel like he is definitely going to have even more progression throughout season 3. And what I love about Dimitri is, I know a lot of people rag on him, but he's what most people are. We make pop culture nerdy references at the slightest thing. I mean, he says to, even like not even pop culture, he just makes like awkward conversation. You remember in season 1 when, when Miguel has just beaten up Kyla, and he's like, you know, I don't need security. I have you. After he had a trial run at Cobra Kai, and he's like, you know, yep, that's hooker talk. He's like, you don't know him like I do. It's that kind of stuff that I think makes Dimitri a very relatable person for a lot of people, because we all often, there's a lot of irony in what the things we do, and we always do provide commentary over whatever it is that we're doing. So I feel like Dimitri is very relatable in that aspect. Now, I think, now that I mention it, I think there was an image with Sam, and I saw this, and I wanted to talk about this, because here's the thing. Me and Sam have a very complex relationship. I don't dislike her as a character, but unfortunately, and I have to be honest, she is at the center of every single thing that happens, right? And in season 1, I know Miguel was a bit of an arse at the beach, but at the end of the day, right? Oh, there's 2 images. Good, I found it. At the end of the day, I don't like her screw face. It's like that typical screw face that anyone would do. It's like, oh, did I do something wrong? Yeah, you did. You played 2 people up against each other. You caused a war between 2 groups of people, and it's not the first time. You know, I mean, are we forgetting what happened to Kyler and his crew? You know, how she sold out her own friend Aisha to go and join with the popular girls. And this image right here, where Daniel's sort of looking kind of, you know, he's looking concerned in a sense, you know, and she's, you know, got her arms folded or anything. So I think this is maybe she is either wants to do something or doesn't want to do something, and he's trying to make something happen. Now, it could be Daniel going to Okinawa, which could be a bit of a stretch with Sam there, or it could be them going to visit Robbie and Juvie. It could be going to visit Miguel. I don't know. But I really hope this season we keep Sam out of that drama circle and we really let her flourish as her own character. We really let her take center stage with Tori and we develop on that. Because as much as the teenage romance and all that, it is a part of what it is. I feel like we've seen that now. I feel like it's time for her to sort of come into her own element. And obviously it'll be there. She still has feelings for Miguel and probably Robbie, but I feel like she was a very big catalyst for everything that went down in that school. I've said it before, Kreese is the one who pulled all the strings in the background, but there is a lot of blame to be shared. But moving on to this image that I didn't actually see, and I'm kind of glad I did, is between Amanda, Daniel, probably arguing with the principal. Now, this is going to be one of the first scenes I think we'll see in Season 3. This is going to be after the fallout. This is going to be the principal basically saying to them, look, whatever's gone on, there's going to be repercussions. He's pretty much telling them, I think, right, your kids were involved in a serious problem here. And we need to do this, this, and this to make sure this, and this doesn't happen again. So it could be me reaching, but it looks like a school setting. It looks like, they're talking to the principal. And I feel like it will be straight away in Season 3, right at the start. And it will be just dealing with the fallout of the whole thing. But that's pretty much all I can say on it. Otherwise, I'll just be clutching at straws and reaching. But yeah, guys and girls, as I said, comment down below. Let me know what you thought was your favorite image, and what character are you most excited for in Season 3. What characters do you not like? Who are your top 10 strongest? I think I've asked that before. I might get just a few comments together, and then do a video about it, talking a little bit about it, and giving some feedback, my personal 10, and ranking other people's personal 10. And yeah, and we have got 10 people in the show to put in a ranking list, I think. So that would be interesting. That would be very interesting to rank them. Now, you can include definitely characters from the Karate Kid movies if you wish. I do feel like this season is going to end with Terry Silver or Mike Barnes. It's going to end in some way, shape, or form like that to really set up Season 4. But I feel I am happy to see Chosen again. That's the part I'm most excited for. Just seeing where he's been, what he's been up to. How has this time gone for him? And I feel like he could be the bridge for Johnny and Daniel to really sort of find peace. And as far as I can tell, that's all the images. What was your favorite image? Let me know if I missed out on an image, and I will talk about it further in maybe another video or down in the comments section. But yeah, these are just images. They're just, as I've said before, I know you're going to see videos popping up where, breakdown and full analysis, but in reality, it's a single frame taken from a whole scene. You can't really do much with it, and some of these shots may not even end up in the actual show. It may be just literally for promotion. There are some shots like this that are done, all they're done for is to market the show, to boost up hype, and they end up not being in the show at all. So, temper your expectations with that one, but it's a good indication as to where Season 3 is going to go. And the one thing that I know people have discussed before is the quality of the show. Will it dip? I mean, not in a rude way, but I expect it to. It's just natural. It's one of them things where the longer you do it, the more likely it is to happen. That's not me saying I want it to happen. This show has been absolutely amazing, and the writers have done such a fantastic job. But, eventually when we get to, Season 5 or 6, because the amount of seasons they've got planned, and this is one of them things that you could make the seasons go on forever if you wanted to. The breadth of characters, the roster of characters, story, it could even expand generations in the future. I expect that to happen, because it naturally just happens with TV shows. But it's not a bad thing. Right now, I'm really enjoying it, and I really hope that I'm definitely wrong on that one, and I hope that the quality just keeps going and going and going. And as much as I love Season 1, it was a good first act. It was a really solid first act that laid the foundation. However, Season 2, I think, is more my favorite, because it starts to bring things together, and the stakes are higher, the tension is higher, and there's just a lot more at play. But anyway, guys and girls, comment down below, let me know what you thought. And yeah, as I always say, the conversation starts here but carries on down there, and I will see you all in another video soon. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.